Hey guys, how you doing? This is Ryan Date, aka Date Ryan Samo on Twitter. Over there is Goose, the Truth. That's Travis, and we got Kadeem with us today, Black by Nature, on Twitter as well. We are the Hashira Podcast, coming to you talking all things anime and nerd. Uh, Hope you've been doing well. Hope you've been enjoying yourself. We want to thank everyone who participated in our giveaway from last time, where we gave away some Crunchyroll, a year's subscription of it, so that you could keep with our conversations. Shout outs to El Ravenous for winning that. A watcher, a viewer, a longtime supporter of the cast, always in the conversation, always joining and stuff like that. Just want to read the comment that he had that won him the giveaway because I actually agree with him, and all of us kind of thought of it like as we read it and was just like, whoa, how come none of us said this during the actual episode, right? It's ridiculous.
Win.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So he simply said, I think one of the most complex, in quotations, anime was Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And I think everyone watching, and all of us definitely agree that that's definitely one of the most complex anime. And it says, from the elements of how alchemy affects the world to the goals of the characters, and Scar being the best protagonist in taking the popularized Sasuke Avenger role and making it feel not just like teen angst and everyone hates me, but making it more important. And Naruto was the epitome of childhood tragedy builds in characters. And that is his comment. Thank you so much, Ravenous, for tuning in, for watching, for joining the conversation, and putting in your input because we all failed when we didn't realize or say Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I don't know what was going on with this.
That's the L on our part.
That's
We,
the L.
just to even comment on that before we even move forward with the pillar discussion, uh, is the fact that like when you think about alchemy, which is actually back to the Aristotle and Plato times, like alchemy is like a real, I'll put in quotations, a real thing, and this anime took all the elements of what was studied at those times and put it in an anime with the actual language. I think the main thing what is equal exchange.
Yeah.
Like everything is equal exchange.
Equivalent, yeah.
Equivalent change. That's it was beautiful. It was so, and I'm he capitalized on that for sure. I think our conversation was all over the place, so we totally forgot about that one.
Yeah.
And it's funny.
Yeah, shout out. Well, it wasn't all over the place. We was just like, it was like a real debate with just those two animes.
Yeah.
Right. We just didn't put no thought into other animes because we was trying to prove each other's points at that
Right.
moment.
Yeah, and
Right.
with that being said, I feel like even in the conversation and even afterwards, we had more conversation because, like I told you, viewers, like I told you guys, we generally have anime conversations all the time, like throughout the week. And we were talking about the episode after it was over, like post edits and everything. And we were just talking about how we really feel like we weren't really paying attention to some of the things that we were saying or taking things too logically. And we were going back and forth as the debate was and realized that a lot of things that we were saying, we definitely agree with each other on, and realizing that complexity is different. And I guess not different, but it is represented differently in the animes that we were talking about in Naruto and in Hunter x Hunter. And therefore, I still feel like, Naruto's got obviously some complexity and it has all the elements to have more technicalities. But I still feel like, both of them are definitely complex in their own ways. And so I just want to put that out there. Apologize on the air because that was me not paying attention.
He was talking about that like till like 2 o'clock in the morning, like some days ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of some days ago, again, before we go straight into the pillars talk, congratulations to our pillar Kadeem.
Yeah! Congratulations to
Kadeem
one of the
Kareem.
pillars.
Yeah.
One of the pillars.
Whoa!
He popped the
Proposing.
question.
He's now a fiance.
Yes. He's now a fiance and has a fiance. So that's amazing. Congratulations to him. So I guess we're gonna have to put like the pictures up. I'm gonna have like an anime pin on my like groomsman thing. when I'm up there.
Let me know when y'all done.
All right, Reese. What are we talking about today, Reese?
All right, let's get into it. So today we wanted to have a conversation about one of, I guess, the most popular anime tropes in all of anime. Rivalries. We want to talk about rivalries, and I feel like rivalries are always the token trope in every anime, and people always have to bring it up. It's always got to be in one, depending on the main character or the main protagonist has to have one in one of the antagonists, or just a character who may not even necessarily be a bad guy or antagonist, but they just kind of run into them, or have to train against them. Whatever the case is, we see this trope over and over again in anime, and I realize that they sometimes stay streamlined, but also evolve over time. And so I wanted to bring that to this meeting of the pillars and bring it to you, the viewers, and all of you who joined the conversation in the comments, so we could talk about how we feel about those rivalries. So I guess without to find a starting place, you guys, and I'll name one after you. Name 3 rivalries that hit you automatically when someone says
I'm gonna
rivalries.
set it off with a rivalry that nobody better say, and then I'm gonna say my rivalry.
Uh-oh.
I don't want no one, not even the viewers, to say Bakugo and Midori. All right.
But you know they're gonna say that.
Wait, no. Wait,
throw
you
it
can't.
out the window.
That's like saying you can't say Goku and Vegeta.
Oh,
No, that's
come on,
good.
You can't take that
I'll
away.
even allow that. Bakugo and Midoriya, throw it out the window.
What?
One of the worst characters after hated Sasuke comes hated Bakugo. I don't like him. I don't care for the character.
Whoa.
It started off.
Pump your brakes.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. Now we can talk.
It's a little rocky from the jump, guys. All right, well,
Now we can talk.
What are your other 2? Well,
Now we can talk. Now we can actually have a conversation.
Oh, no.
Wow. Now listen, we're gonna spin back to that one because I really want to know why. But
Yeah, we can talk about Bakugo. We can talk about that character for sure. Okay, rivalries. Wow. I would say who I really enjoy watching. Wait, Kadeem, do you have one already?
yeah.
Go first. I'm gonna.
Okay. Yeah. As we were stating off panel, one of the rivalries that stands out to me because it's different is the rivalry between Yuno and Asta.
Okay.
The main reason why that it sticks out to me is because Asta is the main character, but I feel like Yuno gets main character privileges as well, and it's been multiple fights where they seem to be on the same level, but Yuno always one-ups him every time. Like once he got the wind spirit, that was a power boost.
Yeah.
And it was like Asta was always playing catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Just versus to any other rivalry where you see let's say for instance what's a rivalry where the main character is like I don't want to use Goku and Vegeta. I want to use like somebody different because that's basically I would say like Asta is Vegeta and Yuno is Goku, but it's like Asta is the main character of the anime.
Okay.
I mean, I'll get into more of that later. I feel like that's a new anime, so it's popular right now, and so I definitely want to get into that.
Now, right.
Wait, what'd you say, Travis? What'd you say?
No, I got you, but go ahead. Can you continue?
Okay. Yeah. Now I was just gonna go in depth on, and if you can, Maurice, like add like a thumbnail of when one of the I think it was the first tournament that was done between the Golden Dawns and the Black Bulls when Asta and Yuno basically first seeing each other after the tournament, and Yuno attacked Asta, and Asta like blocked it with the anti-magic sword, and everyone was just like surprised on how strong they were at a young age. That just shows the feat of their strength.
Yeah. And that was when they was on top of the the king. They made fun of the king.
Yes. And it was another one when they was doing the whole. Was it a 3-on-3 tournament where like it was 3 versus 3? Like whoever destroys the crystal ball or knocks out all 3 wins.
Yeah,
that's where Yuno again was displaying how strong he was, and Asta was witnessing it, and Asta was just like, "Yo, I can't lose to him." Like that's why I feel like that's a strong bond right there, because it's just like, "Yo, I can't lose to him, or I can't have him look down on me."
Yeah.
And when Asta went to his battle, he basically broke the limit to his power, and got stronger, but it wasn't as strong as how Yuno was.
Okay. Yeah,
so that rivalry, honestly, that rivalry, it stands out to me, and I like it.
And I think because so it's so funny because people be in their own thing, but they don't realize. I think they're not saying everything fully. I think Kadeem, and correct me if I'm wrong, you enjoy the fact that Asta actually has to train in order to be
Yes.
Okay, I figured. I thought so.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, well,
I like that he I like that he has to train
bro.
and I like that he has to train and yeah, word. And they're showing him, showing him training.
Yeah.
Like it's never okay. Majority of the stuff it does get off paneled. Well, not majority, but some stuff gets off paneled. But like majority of it is him training or other people telling him how to get stronger. Other people, encouraging him on, hey, like you do this, do that, stick to this, stick to your word. As long as you stick to your word, you're gonna become the person who you want to be.
Right.
And that's good.
Yeah. Okay, my two are probably gonna be very, very. I know we didn't have two, but I have two. So the two I'm gonna say are pretty unconventional.
Well, I mean, you're supposed to have three, so you're good.
Oh, you said three?
I'm saying we could just go back around. Say one, and the other person goes to the second one, and the third one.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be like back to back. Yeah.
Oh. Okay, well I'll give my first unconventional then. Ash and Gary.
Now you took that from me because that's me. I was definitely gonna say Ash and Gary. That's one of the OG rivalries of my childhood and my life. What do you mean? Gary was so much better.
Gary.
You guys remember playing Pokemon Red and Blue version when you had to fight him and he just was always better than you, like all the time.
Oh,
by the time you had a Charizard, he already had an Alakazam and a Gyarados plus his start. I was just like, oh my god, it's too great. And he had the greatest music ever. Travis knows I used to leave his game on just so I could hear Gary's music. Whenever he used to run into Gary in the game. But yeah, no, that's OG. I won't say they too long because I guess we could talk about some of the rivalries that we named in detail. I said, oh my god. So, my first one was going to be Ash and Gary. And now that it was taken from me, I have to find a different one.
Brothers think alike.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Spike and Vicious from Cowboy Bebop.
Wow.
Cause Cowboy Bebop, great. I don't think a lot of people would say that, but I think that was a big one to me. That was a big one to me. I enjoyed Cowboy Bebop, and I love Spike, and I love the Vicious thing. It was really cool. Whenever they got together and they threw down, there was always some crazy stuff happening. It kept you always wanting to know what was going to happen when they saw each other next, and when they started uncovering the background and the history, I thought it got real good to me. You
know what made it even more beast is the fact that it was truly a rivalry because they were in love with the same woman.
Exactly.
So
it was the full circle rivalry.
It was
everything.
It was everything.
So great.
He was the antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
They was in love with the same woman.
The fight at the end, but then all right. See, don't get me started. All right, Kadeem, it's on you. Kadeem. It's on you.
Me? I'm gonna have to say my second. I'm gonna have to say Inuyasha and Shishomaru.
Now, why are you gonna do that? See, now why are you gonna take my next one?
It's so
you
crazy.
Can't take the next one. How you gonna take it?
How your minds are going that way? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm mad you was just gonna steal these things from me. So Travis takes my first one. He takes my second one. All right, go ahead.
Oh well, come on now. It's a great rivalry because the growth. Well, in that rivalry, the growth of Shishomaru himself is great. From not being able to be around humans, not liking his brother, not being a brother figure, and just wanting everything, to himself, to the end of, the multiple encounters that he came to with Inuyasha. You could see that with each encounter, he started to become a better person and a better brother and a better leader as well, because he took in that little garden gnome, whatever, I don't know, the goblin that was following him.
Yeah.
It was him at first, and then it was the little girl.
Yeah.
Lord Shishomaru.
And then it's it made him an enjoyable character afterwards.
Right.
Because at the beginning you're like, dang, this is this guy that's just giving Inuyasha crap, and now there was a lot of scenes where it was him by himself, and like he was doing something on his own, defending whatever. He was no longer. I don't think he was. There's probably episodes where he was the antagonist for the episode, but I don't think he was actually the antagonist in general.
No,
but
never.
He did become a rival. I mean, not become. He was already a rival, and he was a character, seemingly like a side character to watch in general. Like that's what made it really cool.
That is absolutely, because he did have some episodes by himself that showed his character growth. That showed character growth, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
he picked up the little girl, Rin. When he picked up Rin and everything like that, they showed a lot of the things that changed on the inside of him to be able to take her in. I mean, for most people who know me, Shishomaru was one of my favorite characters of all time. So therefore, that's a big one. Shishomaru was just great to me. I always thought that it was more than just his development as a character and in power, but it was his development also in how he was understanding what his father's legacy was to him and his little brother, whom he didn't even like, just because his brother got the sword that he wanted. And
right.
So to understand how his sword was important for him and creating that power, understanding, because remember he went through most of that anime. He got a whole other sword made because he didn't like the one that he had. Remember he went and got he got Tokujin made.
Yeah.
Then he got Tokujin made because he didn't like the Tenseiga. And so that was, to me, it was just dope to see, like, finally understanding what your father left behind you for you and your brother to be actually family, to work together, and if you work together, these things would happen. It was cool. It was really
right.
cool.
Which also it showed the father loved them both too. That's another thing, that the father actually did care for his son.
Exactly.
Right.
Both of them.
Right. But one thing that had like that stood out to me was when I think it was like towards the end of the anime when Shishomaru got his real true sword, because like was it like once he was able to love like a human or love someone else, that's when he'll get his real that's I was like, nah, that was
he was
dope.
mad strong in general. Like I felt like
exactly.
every enemy
that
character
just
was
off of
not
raw
better
strength.
Like I didn't feel like anybody was better than him. He used to walk around the show like, yeah, I got this. You know, like he was mad.
Right, because his sword was
the healing,
like heal people.
Yep. And heal people.
Right.
And Tenseiga actually did the damage because he knew Inuyasha would need more power as opposed to Shishomaru, which just was raw out power already. Travis, it's on you for your next rivalry. Get ready for the next battle.
Well, before I say it, I would have liked a little bit more in depth. Maybe it goes more in depth in the manga for Inuyasha, but I just would have liked to know more about their family in general.
Yeah, I agree.
Father and stuff like that.
Right. Same. But so. They aren't they like starting to continue the anime? So maybe they could pick off with something like that.
Yeah, they're not continuing. No, they're not continuing it. They're doing the Boruto. We're getting the children, just so you know. Yeah. Damn, why are both? Damn. But yeah, so it's not.
Well, it's not like but it's more like finish. Give us more.
Yeah. I mean, they might go into backgrounds and stuff like that. I don't think Shishomaru's dead because he's an immortal demon. So I guess we'll find out what's gonna happen eventually. But they are definitely giving us the next generation of Inuyasha. It's already shown some scenes in the trailers. All the viewers, go check it out if you guys are Inuyasha fans. If you didn't watch Inuyasha before, go check out Inuyasha for sake. I don't think there are some animes that didn't age well. It may not have aged too well with how long it is in the pacing, but always been an enjoyable one for most of us who started watching anime back in the day. So it's the one that put a lot of people on, whether it was on Adult Swim, whether you saw it online or YouTube. Before there was anywhere else to watch anime, you watch on YouTube in like part 1, 2, 3, and 4 because you couldn't have more than 12 minutes of video. Remember that, guys? So
word.
So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. But yeah, Trav, so on you, Doc.
All right, the second unconventional. I don't know if this is unconventional because you guys said some really cool ones, so I don't think it's as unconventional as Ash and Gary. But Vash the Stampede versus Nicholas D. Wolfwood. Trigun.
As a rivalry, I didn't even think that counts as a rivalry.
Really?
I said I didn't think, past tense. But now that you're saying it, I'm thinking about it. I mean, Wolfwood was always trying to show him up, and they did have to fight in the beginning. So I guess, and Wolfwood was always trying to show that he was better than him when they were together.
She was.
Wolfwood is he's a beast.
Because if he wasn't an alien, he wouldn't have all those powers.
Hashtag spoilers. But no, real talk. Oh, Nicholas D. Wolfwood was the man. Like he was the man. That whole the cross.
But that's the dude. That's the dude that had the cross.
Yeah,
the big cross.
Yo, he was wilding up, bro. He was wilding out, man. And just his aim, like Travis was saying, he's a human, and his aim just phenomenal. Just like taking people out. He had style. He had swag. He was always kicking to the ladies.
He went out like a G.
He went out. My man got.
But did he though? Because to be taken out. Spoiler alert, everybody.
Oh yeah, we wilded out.
Hey, spoiler alert! Come on, who haven't seen Trigun, man? Come on now.
I mean, if
they want to, I mean Trigun, that was like 1985. But if you haven't seen it yet, spoiler alert: to be taken out by your man.
Yeah, man.
That is
That hurt me, bro. I thought I want him to come out on top. That so bad, man.
But did he turn evil? Like what? Why did that? What happened?
I think apparently his master was always on that side afterwards. Like they separated. The other side he joined or something like that. Because I know he was taught to take care of people, but then something happened and changed the master's thought process. If any of you viewers know, put it in the comments below exactly what happened. We watched this anime a long time ago.
long
time ago. I guess just to piggyback off what you were saying about like not being sure about them actually being true rivalries, but because it's possible for somebody to say that too. I guess the true rivalry, and this guy's a beast, will be his brother. Knives was a crazy man. Knives
is a wild boy.
Crazy.
Knives was a wild boy. He was
his brother. Knives.
He was doing some extra stuff.
Yeah.
That guy was.
And he was ruthless too. He was
wild. Raw.
Yeah.
Raw.
Now that's a rivalry. The Bash versus Knives. That was. So if that doesn't count, that's my second. My B,
I like
my
the
A.
Nicholas D. Wolfwood choice because
my sub A.
Beast.
Yeah.
Well, I got robbed off my next one again, so I have to think of another.
I'm about to say I'll go.
Nah, you ain't going because you're gonna take another one. Nah, you hold on. I think for my number 2, I have to go with this one since I can't say Ash and Gary. I'm gonna have to go with another one of my favorite characters of all time, Mr. Seto Kaiba and Yugi Moto. They definitely did that for me. Seto Kaiba is a pompous, rich boy whose whole life changed when he met Yugi and his grandpa. And not only that, Seto's
write that check,
character changes. He wrote that check and bought that car in an instant. But yeah, Seto's whole life changed just because he met Yugi. And they did like the whole, destiny thing. They were reincarnations, blah, 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 blah. But Seto Kaiba himself changed through the entire anime. At first, he couldn't stand Yugi. Then all he wanted was to beat Yugi. Then he started to respect Yugi. And it's funny because it's kind of one-sided because Yugi didn't really have any animosity towards him, right? But Kaiba was just like, I have to beat you so I can be the best because he's used to being the best. And then over time, Yugi starts to realize. I mean, honestly, Kaiba is the best. But anyway, but over time, Yugi starts to realize how good at dueling Kaiba really is, and is always looking for Kaiba to join him whenever they have to fight anybody important because he knows how good Kaiba is. While Kaiba, on the other hand, is like, I know how good Yugi is, so it's always good to have him in the pocket as well. Like, you can see them always giving that same mutual respect thing, even to the point where when Kaiba got eliminated from the tournament, he gave Yugi a card, but right before he fights Marek, he's like, take this card, throws it at him, so that Yugi can use it, and he knows Yugi knows how to use it without even explaining the card to him. He's like, if you're not a good duelist, then you won't be able to use this card. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just really good to watch them throughout it. And then when they had to fight Master Darts at the end, who summoned the Leviathan. When we see like the whole thing happening,
my infinity is greater than your infinity.
His infinity was greater than his infinity. That was crazy. So when you see all these things happen, I just thought it was really cool. Like, I enjoyed Kaiba even when he was pompous, but as he continues on, he stays kind of like an arrogant, like pretty much a jerk. But so he does grow as a character to end up helping everybody else and doing what's best for the cast and not just himself all the time. So yeah.
Time out. Yeah. Well, you don't think like over time, like Kaiba, instead of it becoming like I have to beat him, to like it became more of an obsession? Because in the new movie, was it a movie or a TV show? The movie, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Different Dimension or a different...
That's a movie. I watched it.
Different Dimension Warrior deck. Nah, but the Different Dimension thing, he was like obsessed on bringing Atem, which is the Pharaoh, back. Mm-hmm. Just so he could beat him. So he was obsessed to the point where he made a simulation of beating him.
That's rivalry.
That's rivalry. But remember, that's how they train. It's not them doing push-ups and stuff like that. Like, he was trying to play against all the moves he had stored up that Atem would play. You know what I'm saying? So that's how he was training in order to be a better duelist to counter those things. And in doing so, he became an amazing duelist even in the show. I mean, even in the movie, he was doing stuff. I'm like, oh, Kaiba, you got some. Oh, he was like, I was saving this for you, Yugi. But he had the gas now because he was practicing so much. But I mean, it did become kind of an obsession for him. But that's
he wouldn't sleep. Right? He wouldn't.
Yeah.
And then I think in the movie, like a guy. Oh, what he said? Oh, nah. Kaiba, I think, drunk like one of like I guess like a soda can that his company had made, and he crushed the can. He was like, "Who made this can?"
Exactly. He was like,
"He said, made this can fire them." He was like, "If I'm able to crush that easy, you shouldn't be able to work here." I was like, "Yo!" I said, "Nah, this dude is ruthless, yo."
The greatest. He's the greatest. When he beat Joey and made him wear the dog suit, oh man, classic.
Nah,
don't get me going on it. Don't get me going there.
What was it? God. Where he was like, he came off the plane. He was like, "Oh, Mokuba," like they were signing up for the duel. Mokuba, it was like Mokuba. No. Mokuba was like, "Yo, if you're late to the duel, you automatically disqualified." Kaiba comes off the plane. Mokuba, make sure Joey Wheeler is late for his duel.
Yo, no,
he's a bully, man.
Like, yo, Kaiba's a god, bro. He's a god. Bully, I'm sorry, he's a god, man.
Before we even go full circle with our last one, we gotta tell the viewers, because we were discussing about like what exactly we were gonna talk about. We said we were gonna talk about rivalries, and then we were talking about. I think Kadeem, you said that we should talk about rivalries. It changed from back then to now. I think it's very interesting. I think it's very interesting that we've all chosen old school animes. We have not chosen a new one yet.
I mean, but that's because it sits with us, bro. We are, we watch those.
No,
those
I think it's possible that we could have chosen a new one.
Said and Asta.
Is it possible to say that the rivalries back then are better now than now?
I don't. But he said and
Asta. Trying to allude to.
I just feel like animes back then like emphasize on rivalries, like more like the rivalries now is more like, oh, we're gonna be rivals. Then later on, what had happened is in the past, and
you did say
you're not gonna care about it anymore.
You did say Asta.
Yeah, he said Asta.
Yeah,
he said Asta.
But okay, right. But because their rivalry was never, this person started out bad, this person started out good, and then the bad person turns out to be good, and we're just gonna be on the same team. It was just more of I'm going, I'm gonna one up you. No, I'm gonna one up you. Then no, I'm gonna one up you. It was like, a race. It's a race of battle of the fittest.
Right.
But I like I said, I just feel like old school rivalries are just more. They just emphasize on the rivalry itself.
More authentic.
I could be biased, right? I could be biased.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like I'm being biased. Like Marie said, like we're talking about what resonates with us.
Yeah,
I want to believe that these new rivalries have something. Like what?
So can I ask you a question? Ask you a question?
What's up?
Good.
Mr. Goose, Nippon Goose Summer. Let's go back to that Bakugo thing. You thought I forgot. I didn't forget. Let's go back to that Bakugo thing.
All right, we can tell me. We can talk about. You want to talk about it now? Marisa, is that okay to talk about it now?
I don't mind talking about it now. Before you guys get into the nitty gritty real quick, I just want to say my last pick. Okay, all right. My number 3 is definitely one of my favorite characters. I'm always picking my favorite characters, obviously, because these are the ones that sit with me the most. Satsuki Kiryuin and Ryuko Matoi from Kill la Kill, obviously, is going to be on my list. And I won't even get into detail. I'll let you guys get into your Bakugo conversation because I already have something. Based on what Travis said.
Let me say my third.
Oh, go ahead. See, there you go. Go ahead, say third.
You're gonna have to help me on this one because I can't remember the character's name, and he's one of your favorite characters. I'm surprised you didn't say him. Hiro Yui and the general from.
Zex. You talking about Zex?
There you go.
Wildin', yep. Bro. You heard that, Trav? From Gundam Wing. Hiro Yui.
From Gundam Wing.
You know what I was gonna say? Crazy. Mine was gonna be all 5.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I just felt like they were all a rivalry in general. I mean, I guess not really Trevor.
Chang Wu-Fei was trying to give Hito the smoke from jump.
Right.
Like he was here for the smoke.
I feel like they all were just.
You know what? Yeah, that is something good to point out because usually rivalry is always A and B. This was A, B, C, D, E.
Right. Yeah. That's what I enjoyed. That's what I was gonna say. That was gonna be my third. Was all of them. Like they were just all out to this. I mean, they would help each other, but if they had a chance to kill the other person, it could happen at any time.
But even when they were helping each other, they were talking trash. Remember, like Duo Maxwell, the Death Scythe? Remember, like he would kill people without a far-range weapon. He'd be like, "I don't need a far-range weapon to get as much, to kill as much people as you did." And then Chang Wu-Fei is like, "Oh, so what you trying to say?" And then he took his arms back in and used the staff. With
the staff, yeah.
Exactly, he was using that instead. He's like, "Oh no, I got this too." Like, what you mean? So I mean, but Gundam Wing first of all, it's a wild anime when you rewatch it. It did not age
mastered
well.
that thing. I cannot watch it now.
It did not age well.
Yo, it's so bad,
Good, man. It was so bad. So good.
Watching it is like watching it on VHS. That's what it feels like. I'm watching VHS when I try it. I'm gonna do it again, but they need to remaster it and just put it on Netflix. I think it would do well. I think they would get money from it, and
I don't see why it wouldn't.
Yeah,
it's a classic.
Endless Waltz? That was an amazing film. Oh my god.
Endless Waltz was bananas. It was wild, and I mean, it was one of the coolest movie adaptations to an anime. I think for the time it came out too. Like, look at the year it came out, and look at how like the anime and then the movie looks so much better, and was amazing. Even the upgrades to the Gundam Wing suits themselves, amazing. I said Gundam Wing, excuse me, the Gundams, because Gundam Wing is obviously Heroes. So, but it was just like absolutely fantastic how they did that. I enjoyed it. Me and Goose, that's my bro, we really collected the little like figures. And
I was just about to
I have the battle scarred
mint condition.
Exactly, battle scarred Shenlong Gundam from Endless Waltz, because I felt like that one was cooler than the non beat up one, because I remember that part of the movie when he was fighting Hito. And then Hito was like, listen, I know you want to smoke me, and you're winning, but we need to really save the Earth. And he's like, all right, let them go. So it's just like, that's why I bought the battle scarred version. Like, so many good memories.
So
anyway.
what's that Gundam you have? The Shining Finger, the one where he just like
Domon Kashin? Domon Kashin?
Yeah.
I freaking love that song.
Shining Finger.
Oh my gosh.
Word.
Nothing beats Heavy Arms, man.
That's my
favorite.
Barton. Yeah, he's a Troll Barton guy. Yep, Gundam Heavy
That is
Arms.
my favorite. But let's talk about Bakugo. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
Make sure that we're going on with the show.
All right.
Why
My thing with Bakugo.
Because that's my favorite. That's my favorite character. But go ahead.
You know what?
Maybe
And this is strictly. I'm not gonna say this is actual objective. I'm gonna say this is more subjective. So it's more so for humorous reasons, as opposed to true character development. I think I can see the character. I could see the character development. I'm trying to enjoy what the writer has done with this character, and how his family is, and how he's similar to the dynamic he has with his mom. And like his dad is so docile, but I just feel like every time he's in the room, like now that he knows the secret, it's like, does he need to be in the room? Like whenever he's there, it's like, why are you here? Midoriya and what's his name are talking. You know what I'm saying? Like what do you add to this secret? What are you doing now? I don't feel anything for him in terms of Midoriya, except for, and I don't understand, like I just feel like this rivalry they have is kind of, I feel like it's forced. I get that they enjoy the same hero, they have their own reasons for loving him, but it's like all these reasons that they try to give us, I don't really believe you. What was the quote? He has to win, so he saves, and he saves in order to win. It was like, I sat down, I wrote that down, and I'm like, yeah, but that's weak. It wasn't profound. It wasn't like, it's not profound, and they're still trying to feed us that. Again, I enjoy his seemingly slow character development. Now he's actually trying to fight for the team. I don't expect his demeanor to change per se, but we do have and I'm gonna use Vegeta. We do have a totally different Vegeta from the beginning to now. And do I want that with Bakugo? But like maybe something similar. I would enjoy that. I didn't enjoy his demeanor and how he was with Midoriya, why he hated him. This still doesn't make any sense. I mean, the fact that he hated him because he hated. Well, let me say this. He hated him because of the fact that Midoriya was weaker than him, and yet Midoriya still put his hand out to help him. It makes sense. I know the reasoning, but is it good? Do I like it?
It's not only that. It's because of Deku's resilience itself. Like he never knows when to give up, even though when the odds are against him, he still fights on. And being that Bakugo doesn't have that,
they never gave that for Bakugo. They never said that that's the reason why Bakugo is not happy with Midoriya. I don't. Am I wrong? I don't think that's what the reason is.
No, that's one of the reasons, because that always angers him. Like, why is he always standing out? And he's always accomplishing these stuff, and like, being praised for certain things that he's doing, and it's just like even when like that's why Bakugo's always talking down on him like, oh, you're trash. I'm not you're trash, but like you're nothing.
Nah,
like you have no
trash.
quirk. You're quirkless, whatever. And it's just like right, and it's just like yo, he's even though he said all those things to him, or even though like he was like that, he always fought. He never gave up, and like you could see it in like the little side panels, like Bakugo give him the side eye and say like give him the side eye and say oh like oh why where do you summon the strength to fight through all this stuff, and like it angers him, that Deku does that.
Why?
Yeah, I hear what Travis is. I hear what Travis is saying.
I don't know.
So I have to agree with Travis. When I watched the first season of My Hero and the second season as well, I was also just like, yo, you have an issue with Deku, and it's literally just because he was weaker than you and now he has powers. Like he didn't know the secret at all. He was just upset. He's like, oh, how come Deku can fight? When I knew him when we were growing up, he couldn't fight. So now I'm mad at you. I hate you because you've always been trash, but now you're actually good, but you still have to be trash because you've always been trash. Because I'm just a bully. That's all I am. I'm just a bully. And I want to bully you, and I'm mad that you're good. Like, that was literally his whole thing. And it bothered me because it didn't give him any depth to himself. Because as a character, Bakugo was explosive and, he was super temperamental and all that. And that was him because, obviously, the quirk they gave him made sense, explosions, right? It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But the reasoning if they gave him at least a little bit more, like say if Deku actually saved him or beat up some bad guy or beat up some bully he could not win against, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. Like give him something for real, or something really happened in their past that changed him to make him hate him. But he just hated him because he was weak and now he has powers. Like what? It does feel forced. It feels forced. It doesn't feel like it's anything important until later on when they actually come to the fight. That's the only time it starts to feel relevant is now. But in the beginning, I was like, why is this even a thing? Like, you're great, and I feel like we have to waste time seeing you on the screen because you hate him for reasons you don't know. And because Deku's the main character, he's going to find a way to overcome you, and we have to see this. I was like, why? You know?
I believe Broly's hate for Goku more than I believe Bakugo's, and Broly hates the Goku because he was crying when he was trying to sleep. Oh, no. Like, come on.
Oh my god.
Like,
but I don't think.
You let me sleep.
What was it? Well, this might be different to what y'all saying, but I feel like it's like it's a mental thing because being that now that he figured out the secret that Bakugo has, All Might handed down his power to Deku. Now it's just like, now I'm definitely not going to be stronger than him because he has All Might's power. All Might was the #1 hero.
But
you're reaching, Kadeem. I think you're trying your best to reach for this right now.
No, but he doesn't.
It's all inference. It's all. I'm not. That's not like you're pulling that yourself.
But I don't
you're
think he's pulling that.
Yes.
You know why I don't think he's pulling that, Travis? You know why I don't think he's pulling that? Because the only reason that I feel like they fixed that rivalry is because of that situation. Bakugo knows that Deku now has the ultimate power of their childhood, of the world, blah, whatever you want to call it. He now knows that this man has one for all. And because of that, he understands that he has to hold himself accountable to being stronger than that person who holds the strongest power even though he doesn't have it. It's not until this moment that you see that Bakugo is evolving as a person to understand that he's not pushing forward just in ability, but pushing forward in personality and what he stands for and his principles in order to be better. As a matter of fact, he takes what All Might says to him personally and seriously and starts to actually give Deku tips and pointers when Deku is losing it now. Like he's like, oh, you should know how to do this, or you should know how to do. I remember, I think right after they have to clean the room together because they like get in trouble, right? And they're cleaning the room together, and then Bakugo is literally telling him, you should have did this, or you should be stronger than that by now. Why don't you do this? Because now he's actually forming that relationship. So now the rivalry makes more sense because Bakugo knows I'm gonna stay stronger than you. And even when he won the fight, I feel like that was a big point too. It was just like, listen, we're going to keep Bakugo relevant because he's now going to be a character that can develop his strength, his ability, and all the things that we've seen him do without him just being a jerk whenever he's in the same room as Midoriya. So
do you like them now? Do you like them now? I'm not talking about him as a unit. Do you like them now?
Yes, I do. I do like both characters now.
I'm still on the fence because I don't feel like he needs to be involved as much just because he knows the secret. He doesn't need to be in the rooms when they have meetings. He doesn't need to be there.
Well,
why are you here?
No, because he's only there because All Might literally said that the reason that they had such a rough time is because one, they grew from children having this hate. Bakugo had this hate, and whatever their relationship was. And All Might said that he felt bad because he didn't fix it when he was supposed to be counseling them as a teacher to make sure that they had a better relationship to push themselves forward together. And so now he wants to make sure he's mentoring them properly so that they can be the best instead of it just being a disconnect. All Might doesn't want.
So he's trying to make them a team.
Yes, he wants.
That's the reason
to
they're
there.
Right. We're getting a team right now. Okay.
Yeah. So and that's
right.
different. It makes like sense when you look at it like that because now they're a proper rivalry. Like now it's proper. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I like it more. The rivalry. Now I like it.
I feel like the rivalry is gonna turn from Bakugo and Deku to Shigaraki. That would make more sense because the predecessor of was it All for One, then One for All, then so it's like One for All has Shigaraki and All for One, or is it vice versa? All for One has Shigaraki and One for All has Deku.
Yeah,
and it's like he had. So I feel like.
Are you talking manga right now?
So,
I think you might be talking manga right
now. No. He's not.
No.
Because we know that Shigaraki is working for.
I mean, we know he's gonna get it.
No, we didn't say he got it yet. He was just saying
get what
he works with him. So therefore, they should be rivals because they come from those mentors. That's what.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So they might continue the rivalry between their predecessors.
I mean, and
so that's like I say, it could be Shigaraki
too. But some shows like they have multiple rivals. I feel like they have to keep the Bakugo thing going because Bakugo is that guy. And I like Bakugo. Whenever it doesn't involve Midoriya, I like Bakugo.
I like Bakugo.
Yeah, Bakugo's amazing when it's not Midoriya.
I do. I like him a lot.
Now I can like both of them in the same
room
regardless.
Back off.
He's not gonna be He's not my top character or anything.
So
don't worry, Kadeem, you can have him.
We spent a lot of time here. I want to jump somewhere. Do you mind if I jump to a different rivalry real quick?
Sure.
So I wanted to go back into what Travis said about talking about rivalries that are old and rivalries that are new, because I feel like we said the old rivalries, and when we said them, we didn't really have a debate. It was like, yes, this is good, and then we name a new one, and it's like, nah, like we got to talk about why it can be bad or why it can, you know what I'm saying? So I want to get into another new one, and I want to talk about Yuno and Asta. And the reason I want to do that is because I was watching Black Clover. I recently caught up all the way up to the end, and I just really thought it was interesting to see that I can enjoy them being rivals for how they really do push each other. I feel like I like that as opposed to this, like, because can be jerky, but he's not being a jerk. You know what I mean? Like, he's just doing it in order to push Asta because he knows that's crazy. He knows that he's pushing Asta in the proper direction by goading him into doing better. As a matter of fact, when they had Travis, how far are you? I don't want to see. Are you caught up? In the anime? You caught up with Black Clover? Anime.
Wait, say the anime?
Black Clover, the anime. Are you caught up?
Yeah. I think they're doing fillers now, right? Basically.
Yeah, technically. Okay. So when they were fighting after the elf situation, right? Asta is at his limits, and notices he's at his limit, and so he turns to him and literally speaks trash. He goes, "If you can't keep up, I'm gonna have to carry you." And then Asta's like, "Oh, all right, now you can't talk to me like that, bro." And then he starts to move again, even though he knows he didn't have the strength to move, because that's the way they work together. And I like it more because is a rival who doesn't even just push him that way. He respects and protects him. In the beginning of the show, when they were at the dinner and the banquet for the Golden Dawn and stuff like that, and Asta's talking about being the Wizard King and somebody disrespects him, they're all talking their trash, and starts giving his speech, and Asta starts giving his speech, and they put the camera on and you realize is taking his spellbook out like, I'm about to give the Golden Dawn the hands because they about to come for my bro. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that was super cool because you don't see a lot of rivals standing up for the, like, even when they have the conversation with Longrus. Longrus is his name. Yes, Longrus. When they have the conversation with Longrus, when Longrus is disrespecting Asta and disrespecting the Black Bulls, Yuno's like, bro, that's my rival. And he starts laughing at him. You don't feel like you have a commoner as a rival? It's because you're a commoner, so you can't be that good. And he's just like, I'm going to be the captain. And he's looking at him like, because you're the lieutenant, obviously I got to beat you to be captain. And he's looking at him like, yeah, I'm going to beat you because you disrespected my man, so you disrespected me. And I thought that was cool. Like, to me, I like their whole thing. It's different.
I said vice captain.
No, but he said he was going to be the captain of the Golden Dawn first. He said he was going to be the captain. And then... But in order to be the captain, he has to beat the vice captain, and so that's why he gave him the look like, I'm about to give you the hands. Okay. And that's why I thought that was really cool because it shows that rivalries don't just have to be people disrespecting each other in order to push themselves forward and keep the attention of the anime on them, and that's why I enjoy watching and Asta. So I'll have to say that.
So well-rounded, I mean, we know Asta is pretty much the main character, but we feel like Yuno is kind of a main character as well, and we don't even know what's gonna happen in the future. We don't know if Yuno's gonna get possessed, if he's gonna have to bring Asta back from being a demon. Like we don't know. This can go so many ways, Black Clover.
Wait,
Like
yes,
that's
yes,
so dope.
Yes, it can.
In terms of like, I feel like I get a Neanderthal with Bakugo. So it's difficult to have this person as one of the main characters.
Yo, son, Travis, you got it out for me, bro. First it's Toshido, now it's Bakugo. Copy, man.
Because like that dude says hit,
let's leave
fire, jump.
Behind.
Like he doesn't even have. Because he barely makes sentences, man. I can't even. He's the guy. He's our Vegeta. He's our Yuno. He's our Gary. Bakugo. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? He's our Kaiba.
Yeah.
Man, oh my god. I'd be better off if he was just quiet. If he didn't say anything at all. I think maybe.
His personality, bro, is not gonna allow him to stay quiet.
Yeah, no, he's Bakugo is a bully's. He's a bully's bully too. So it is true. He's a bully's bully that bullies. But as I said, now that his character is getting developed, he's better.
He'll get more words.
He does say things. He does talk more. He interacts more. Even when they have to help out like the kids. Remember when they do like the babysitting thing, as a test.
Yeah.
That, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just you get to see more of him doing stuff. I mean, the best kid in Class 1A is definitely Todoroki. But so just want to throw that out there.
Stop Joe Punk behind us.
Todoroki's the best.
Man, damn Todoroki, get out of here.
He's gonna be
the Shoto character, man. I love.
Yo, okay. Speaking of that. Oh, this is why I said in the last episode that the complexity of My Hero. Now, in My Hero, they said that the offspring is gonna have a similar quirk to the mother or the father, right?
Correct.
Now, you don't think that Dabi is related to Endeavor?
That is spoiler.
What? How much time we got left?
I'm asking a question because it's just like who is he?
And we've definitely said this in another episode that we definitely agree and think that that's who that is. We said that in a different episode of the podcast.
No, not even that.
Yes, we did.
That's interesting.
But because now I'm thinking about it, it's just like, okay,
you really want to believe this might be the case.
Yes, I do. That has. Come on now, the signs is there. When Dabi grabbed Bakugo when they kidnapped him, and Dabi said it, he was like, oh look, like he said his full name, oh Shoto Todoroki, and Todoroki's like, who are you? Like, how do you know my full name? How do you know who I am and I don't know who you are?
Yeah.
No, but we know that already. We've already agreed to this. In the Endeavor episode, we've agreed to this.
No, but even then, okay, so let's say, I'm going to play devil's advocate. What does that mean that he knows his full name?
Right, say the actual.
Do like a Pandora box? Nah.
No Pandora's box. I mean, he has flames. And we know the flame is passed down, blah blah blah, from the quirks of the adults and so forth, so on. Not only that, he did know the name. He has the same hairstyle. We saw a child that looked just like him in one of the flashbacks in the Endeavor episode. We know that this is definitely who that is.
Unless Endeavor got a brother we don't know about.
That's the theory.
Which episode did we see a flashback?
Exactly.
When
they was doing the whole Endeavor,
he has a flashback to his kids.
Fight. Yeah, he has a flashback
to his kids. You see the kid there standing there.
You see the three kids that are standing there: the oldest brother, the sister, and Todoroki.
No, Todoroki has half white hair. The kid doesn't have half white hair in the flashback. He has all.
Yeah, Bob.
Watch it again.
Watch it again.
Watch it again.
It's possible that hair grew later.
Oh no! They actually show Todoroki as a kid. No, they show Shoto as a kid, and they show that he has always had hair on both sides.
He had always had half and half.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it again.
Go watch it again.
I'm gonna watch it again.
I think before we do close out the episode, we have to give and just talk about real quick, just from all of us, just to chime in, because we obviously used it as a reference. We use it as a point of information and all that stuff. So let's do it real quick. We'll start with Trav. Why is Goku and Vegeta the rivalry? Why has it outlasted time? Why does it stay relevant? And why is it the formula in which people who write manhwas, people who write mangas, and any other story, technically after it has come out, has used that as a reference. Why is that the rivalry that we enjoy to see and we love to see it?
Because the most well-rounded, best, awesome character, and I'm not talking about favorite characters because you know who my favorite character is in there. The most well-rounded, most well-written character in DBZ universe is Vegeta.
You know,
Vegeta was bad, became quote unquote good.
You know who did that, right?
What?
Who made him quote unquote good?
If you're talking about Bulma, I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even say that. I would say there's so many that's why he's such an interesting character. We can't even say what one thing was that makes Vegeta who Vegeta is.
No,
the guy is so,
it's not one thing. It's multiple things.
It's multiple things. The guy is prideful. Yeah. He has an understanding that he's prideful as a Saiyan in his Saiyans. So even though he's the Prince of Saiyans, he still wants Saiyans to exist. And he can't have that without having Goku. It's impossible. In order for me to have who I am, I need a reflection. Goku is that reflection. But the worst thing about this reflection is the reflection that's looking back at him is 10 times stronger than he'll ever be, even though he's the prince. That's one thing. But he still wants his people to be there, to be around. He knows he needs to make people, Bulma. So in order to have that, he finds a strong woman. But in finding a strong woman, which is what he said the reason why I love who I love and you love who you love, Chi-Chi, is because Saiyans, male Saiyans love strong women. That's what he said. So he finds Bulma, finds how headstrong she can be, and then realizes that he can love the person that he's just having an offspring with.
Yamcha.
Right.
See what I mean, nigga?
He can love the person he has an offspring with. He doesn't have to just be full of pride. And then he has these kids who he also enjoys. And he didn't think that he was going to enjoy them. He thought it was all about fighting. And he learned something else on this new planet that he's now fighting for. He's trying to stay himself, but it's difficult to be still old Vegeta and new Vegeta. He fights with himself all the time. The fight is the fact that he's becoming kind, the fact that he's not as strong as Goku and he's still continuing trying to be, the fact that he has more fighting sense than Goku, but for some reason he's smarter than this guy, but this guy has more fighting IQ than him.
Whatever you want to call it. Yep, go ahead.
All of these things, even in GT, the one that people don't like.
That, we don't talk about GT. We don't talk about it.
But the thing is, like, you know, like it's so funny because you get certain different universes in Marvel. GT gave us a different universe, but again, we got a different Vegeta. That Vegeta in GT that was like, he's too much stronger than us. We won't get that Vegeta in this new DBZ that they've created. They keep on evolving this character because there's so many things to do with Vegeta. He hurts at the fact that knowing that Frieza killed his people. He's like, it's all these things is in this character. And
can I ask one question? Out of everything that happened, all the wishes that they made, all the collective Dragon Balls that they made, all the collective
Dragon Ball Super come back.
Why? Why did
they might be terrible people?
I mean, honestly, I think that wish was never made because, like Travis was saying, Vegeta is progressive and progressing. And he must know that until he's prepared to be able to deal with that large scale of people doing the wrong thing without having to smoke them, you know, because he can obviously do that now. Obviously, Vegeta can definitely blow up like 5 planets if he felt like it. But he knows that would have to change. And so, therefore, he probably just never made the wish because he is progressing. Like Travis was saying, he's doing so much. And Travis, you said all of it. That's why I was just like.
Well, it was after Planet Namek where he decided to change. So yeah.
But you know, as after Planet, it was during Planet Namek that he was changing, right? He was changing during that whole situation.
Yeah, right.
Right? Until the point where he cried and trusted Goku in order to bring back retribution for the Saiyan race when he realized that, hey, I can't do this on my own, but maybe this low-class Saiyan who gave me a hard time on Earth, maybe he can do it. Therefore, I got to believe in somebody besides I have to drop this pride that I have in order to accept the fact that I need the help in order to deal with the greatest adversary of the people who I am the leader of because my father is dead. And so he had to understand all these things. His progression as a character is so big that it just is all encompassing, and all the moments in which we see him deal with that, it's so important and amazing. He even, like, to the point where he turned Super Saiyan because of how prideful he was. I have to be the strongest. No one can be stronger than me because I'm supposed to run a whole planet. Therefore, you can't be Super Saiyan without me. And he trained and cried and pounded the ground until he turned Super Saiyan. Not only that, he came back when he knew Goku was going to be sick to give the androids the hands, right? Gives them the hands, shows off a bit, right? In order to show that he can still do it. And then, like Travis was saying, in order to understand that he hurts and loves, then when he gets turned into Majin Vegeta, just because he thought he had a chance, because that internal battle, that internal conflict with being better than Goku and being an actual person was still so great on the inside of him that he let himself get turned to Majin Vegeta so he can get a power boost in order to think that he was going to be on the same level as Goku. That in itself it was crazy, because you realize that even Babidi could not control him. Like, he was like, Babidi, I just needed the power boost, bro. Like, you can't tell me what to actually do. And so then they fight, and that whole thing happens, and then he looks and blows himself up to save Trunks and his family because he understands these things. Him getting upset with Beerus when Beerus slaps my Bulma, right? We see this whole thing happening because it's the big change in Vegeta. And that's why I respect it so much, because it's to the point where in Super, he acknowledges that Goku is definitely a friend if he had one. Goku is his best friend. He starts to realize these
don't have
things.
friends, but if he had to have one, it's Goku.
Yeah, he realizes that. And
this dude's character overflows into like
everything. Vegeta is
into any anime. Like,
he's the best. He's the best character in the show. Even though I'm a Gohan fan, Travis is a Krillin fan, Kadeem is a Broly fan. But I know that Vegeta is probably the coolest and most complex. I'm gonna use that word one more time.
Yeah. The most
character.
Well written.
He is so well written, and the fact that I'm not spoiling anything, but you know, we have Twitter on our animes. I'm anime on our Twitter. Excuse me. And so therefore, I see a lot of. I got spoiled a couple of times, and I'm depressed. But it seems like they're finally giving my man some burn, and so I'm super excited for what happens with the Prince of all Saiyans, Vegeta himself, the God, literally, because he can go Super Saiyan God. So the God, literally, and to see what's going to happen with him, and that's why I think, and you know, we didn't give Goku any play in this conversation, but it's because of how important Vegeta is that we can't even just give Goku like Goku does great things. He's a great guy. He has great power, great ability. He does a lot of stupid things, but has natural kind of sense for combat. All those things that have made him great throughout the entire series. But Vegeta he makes that rivalry what it is because he adds all the depth and the changes to what makes their relationship so complex. I'm trying not to do it, but I have to do it. Just one more thing. So even like Travis said, I'm just piggybacking over Travis. Travis said all the important points. I'm just going into detail on the points he made. Even in understanding how much he dislikes Frieza for what Frieza did in the past, because of how progressive Vegeta is, in Super, he understands these things when they have to work with him, and does work with him. Because Vegeta understands these things. When they had to fight him, though, Vegeta was like, Goku, you playing, because you should have been won this fight. And when he takes over from that fight, y'all remember, right? When Vegeta takes over, he's like, all right, Frieza, it's over. I'm not playing with you. Like, there's a lot of things in my heart I have against you, bro. You gonna catch these hands. And he literally gets
he wanted to kill Frieza.
He was gonna kill him. That was it. Vegeta was not playing. But this is the Vegeta we see all the time, so we know it's consistent with his character. And he's just consistent. Everything that he does makes sense for who he is. Vegeta doesn't, like, everything makes sense. He's just great. He's great. Guys, viewers, thanks for watching the Hashira Podcast. because we could just keep it going. Please.
I don't. It's so crazy how he wrote that character. It's unbelievable. Because as people might say that DBZ, and we can end with this. I'm sorry, I don't mean.
Right.
As much as people say DBZ is not that great, that one character levels up to so many other anime characters that animes are great. As bad as DB Nation can be, people decided to be. Vegeta himself can
but
honestly be compared to so many other characters in other great animes.
But do you know what's crazy about that, Travis? He wasn't even a main character. He doesn't even get all the main character push or burn throughout most of the arcs. He gets a lot of push in the Namek series. He gets a lot of push during the androids. But you realize that it always comes through somebody else at the end of those things. So Vegeta was just a character in the cast who was written so well that he happens to outshine everyone else until they had no choice but to put him in the forefront. And that's what happened. Like, that's literally what happened. That's how good he is. They didn't have a choice. It was like, yo, because Toriyama used to forget stuff. Toriyama used to forget things in arcs and just write out stuff because he forgot it. But we can never forget about Vegeta because Vegeta's so great. So thanks again for watching, all the viewers. Thanks for coming to the meeting of the pillars where we talked about rivalries and anime. We missed out on a lot, whether we're talking about Soma and Takumi from Food Wars, whether we're talking about Bon and Meliodas from the Seven Deadly Sins, all those ones that we missed out on that we didn't really talk about in depth because we just kind of named our favorite ones and the ones that stuck out to us. We're hoping that you guys will join the conversation in the comments and talk about the rivalries that you thought shaped anime. Even ones that we might have missed that might be super great that we didn't mention. Maybe you got some. So please, in the comments below, join the conversation and put in your rivalries that you had. As a matter of fact, that's the question that I'm going to put to you that we always put at the end of these shows. So, what anime rivalry stuck out to you and why? Tell us in the comments so we can join you and, have all these conversations that we normally have down there. It's been great. It's been a wonderful conversation. It's been awesome. Black Lives Matter. That's never going to change. So, until the next time, stay nerdy, my friends. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share if you'd like to, and share so that anybody and everybody can be a part of this discussion. See you later.